Hey guys, welcome to day 24 of the Warboss Tay July Painting Challenge, or sometimes referred to as just as the Painting Challenge for the Warboss of Tayness. And see, I got a little bit of work done on old Fabulous Bile here. I got his gold trim put on. I put some more flesh layers on his head, picked out a few of the silver bits. Worked actually, come on, focus. No, focused a little, and there we go. Worked a little bit on his tools here on his tool belt. Those still need a little bit of work, and did a little bit on the gun and whatnot. But he is not anywhere near complete. In fact, he is not even glued together. Ha ha ha! Now he looks like a batten. But slowly and steadily getting on, getting my work done on him. I picked out his hair coloring as well, made it a little bit whiter. You need to clean up around where the hair and the skin connects. But so far I'm happy with what's going on with him. He's doing pretty well, getting all together. My desk is still quite the mess. I got something else today. I got these, which are transfers from a guy named, from what's called the Forgotten Chapters. It was a Kickstarter where this guy started something on Reddit, and I saw it where he was going to make just Purity Seal literature for it. I mean, just words. And some of the symbols that are not copyrighted by GW he used, and put them all out there, and then just some nice lettering and things, you know, like the Templar Cross, and just skulls, which are not GW skulls, and a couple of angel wings and other things that could be, they look close enough but are not copyrighted. And I got 4 sheets of these for about $25 delivered, or 25 euros, which is like 5,000 American dollars. I have no idea what the conversion rate is. But overall, very happy with my choice. It's got a lot of little things that you can use. I mean, even just for little purity seals. I mean, if you want it to look cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with what came in. And we'll start using those probably on the Sisters Repentia very soon. But today's big question is, if a wormhole opened and shot me back in time to the point where I first started miniature painting, what would, let's look at it exactly. A massive global event warps you back in time to the exact minute where you first sat down to paint your first miniature. How much time has passed between then and now? Describe your past self. What are you painting and what do you look like? What advice would I give to my screensaver to not come on now? What advice would you give to that younger painter taking the first steps down the road to Hobbiton? Well, for me, it's not really that long of a journey. Like the Warboss went back many, many years to his high school self, which, don't worry, Warboss. We all have deep, dark secrets of fashion in high school that we do not share. But I would only have to go back about 10 years, and the me then would have so much free time that he wouldn't know what to do with it, but he would still think that he didn't have any free time. And I would just tell him, you know, like, hush, dude, you have no idea what you're in for, especially when you get those short, irrational people who live at your house. And then I would tell him to hobby as much as he could, and I would tell him not to resist 40K and fantasy as long as he did, because for the longest time I stayed out of it, because, you know, that's what all the cool kids were doing, and by God, I wasn't going to do it. And I would be painting these, which are the Lord of the Rings old Erebor dwarfs, the old plastic minis that came with that. And these are all painted with craft paints from Walmart. I can't even remember if I primed them or not. I think I did. I think I used a Tamiya primer that I'd had for sitting around from when I painted a Tiger tank that I'd worked on, but I can't remember. It looks like it was a white primer, because I can still see a little bits of light peeking through. And some of these are enamel paints, because, you know, I was used to using enamels on the old Testors models that I painted years and years ago. And I honestly still like enamel paints. If you need a color to cover and then just be absolutely there, enamel paints are really good. They are not good if you're going to continue handling your model, because they don't dry fast enough. But the biggest thing I would tell him is to not skimp on primers. For a while, I resisted buying decent primers meant for miniatures. and ruined several models actually because I used some cheap primers that fuzzed up or that didn't cover very well, or they just didn't operate very good, and would have told me to continue to go ahead and spend the extra money, get the GW primers, or at least get something that's meant to be sprayed on plastic, that rather than Rust-Oleum, or not Rust-Oleum. What is it? I can't remember. There was one whole can that I bought and then primed a whole bunch of models with, and then started painting, and it turned out it was a waterproof paint. And so all the water-based paints beaded up and rolled off, unless you did so many thin coats that dried immediately to get them to go on there. But I would also tell myself not to worry about how they turned out, because these are the first ones I ever painted, and they're not the best. But honestly, if I went into my local game store and a guy plopped down his army and they were all painted about this scale, I would say, hey man, that's a good job. You got your guys out of the gray plastic zone and into the modeling world, as opposed to just the paperweight and plastic crack era. But I also tell myself to get a lot of sleep, because you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it hard with them 3 kids. But oh well. And then I would probably say to myself, also go to the gym more. Don't eat so many snacks. Lay off the Oreos. You don't need 12 Milky Ways a week. No soda, please. Run. Learn how to walk. Do some heavy lifting. Don't throw out your back. I give him the Grandpa Simpson speech about being hip and with it. And one day it'll happen to you too. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys have a good weekend coming up. Some of my stuff in the next couple of days will be remote learning, and you'll notice when that happens. Anyway, have a good night. Adios. I want to go back in the cart.